First of all, Trayvon Martin was a guest in our community. He was confronted by George Zimmerman. He was not aware of who Trayvon Martin was, and all he did was just go up to him and ask him, what was your business here? And essentially, all he had to respond was, I'm here visiting my mother. I just got back from the 7-Eleven. What's the problem? End of story.
No,
there would be no tragedy
wait.
today.
Frank, let me jump in and ask this question, because of all the things that I've heard, what upsets me the most is when he, according to his girlfriend, who was on the phone, says that Zimmerman says to Trayvon, essentially, what are you doing here? Now, why is he asking that young man who was walking with Skittles and iced tea and talking to his girlfriend, what are you doing here? I mean, should anybody be targeted because of their race and be questioned about being in a neighborhood? We're living in the 21st century, Frank.
Yes, Jane, I agree with you. But then again, this is a perfect storm. Once again, there are documented crimes in our neighborhood that have been perpetrated by one group of young black males. George simply confronted the individual, asked him a question. He could have responded by saying, I'm here visiting my mother.
Okay, Tashina Arnold, actress, I want to get your response.
I'm sickened. I'm sickened and I'm sick and tired, and I understand that George is speaking up for his friend, but this is disgusting and this is horrible that this is taking place, and there needs to be a change in the laws. Let's get to the real point. There's got to be a change in the laws. I'm tired of losing our young black men to foolishness, to nonsense. My heart goes out to that family. My heart goes out to a lot of anybody that has a child. My heart goes out because this was disgusting what happened, and I have a lot to say about it.
And we're going to get
the girlfriend of the unarmed Florida teen who police say was shot and killed by a neighborhood watch captain says the watch captain was following Trayvon Martin and might have pushed him. She told lawyers for Martin's family that she was on the phone with him right before the shooting.
When Trayvon walked in, he was walking down that brick car. Like he getting told by him. I like, boy, run. And Trayvon said, he's not gonna run. Trayvon said, what you following me for? And then that someone said, what you doing around here? And I pushed Trayvon because the head stayed this down. And then after that, somebody had to talk to Trayvon and to the phone be shut off.
Well, police have not charged the watch captain, George Zimmerman. This is an old mugshot of him that you keep seeing. Zimmerman says that he shot Martin in self-defense. But witnesses tell CNN's Anderson Cooper that that's not what it looked like to them.
So you saw Mr. Zimmerman on top of Trayvon Martin?
Exactly.
When you say on top of, how so?
He was
straddling him.
Exactly.
His legs were straddling
One
him.
on each side, on his knees with his hands on his back.
Based on what you saw, and again, you didn't see a struggle, do you believe it was self-defense on Zimmerman's part?
I do not.
Why?
Originally, I didn't believe it was self-defense because what we saw when we walked out on the porch. If it was self-defense, why was he on Trayvon's back?
Well, we've also learned that a grand jury in Florida will start investigating the case next month. Now, you can learn more about that angle at hlntv.com.
But obviously, this is a tragedy. I can only imagine what these parents are going through. And when I think about this boy, I think about my own kids. And you know, I think every parent in America should be able to understand why it is absolutely imperative that we investigate every aspect of this, and that everybody pulls together, federal, state, and local, to figure out exactly how this tragedy happened. I'm glad that not only is the Justice Department looking into it, I understand now that the governor of the state of Florida has formed a task force to investigate what's taking place. I think all of us have to do some soul searching to figure out how does something like this happen. And that means that we examine the laws, and the context for what happened, as well as the specifics of the incident. But my main message is to the parents of Trayvon Martin. You know, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon. And, you know, I think they are right to expect that all of us as Americans are going to take this with the seriousness it deserves, and that we're going to get to the bottom of exactly what happened. All right. Thank you.
Mr. Muhammad teaches us that man is judged by his conscious behavior, and the conscious behavior collectively of the white race toward non-white people has been the type of behavior that is practiced only by a devil or devils.
So then in essence you feel that white men per se are devils?
He teaches us that God told him that the white race is a race of devils.
Teaching this kind of a doctrine of hate and a doctrine of separationism, is bound to inflame the passions of people, wouldn't you imagine?
The deeds that the white man has committed against black people is what is inflaming black people. There's no teaching inflames anyone. It's what you do to a man that inflames him. And if the white man wants black people to love him, then he should do something to warrant that love.
The entire Negro population, the group, feels the way you do about it. I think they're probably more than willing to take their share of the world that's available to them and enjoy themselves in it.
How about you?
I have no comment on this time.
If he doesn't think that very many Negroes think like I do, then he is being mighty naive. Do you think that Negroes are going to continue to live in a society where dogs can be sicked on them at will and not do something about it? You're out of your mind.
Malcolm, how do you yourself feel about the white man?
I believe that the white man has done a great injustice to the black man in this country by having kidnapped our people and brought us here and down to the level that we're on today. And today, instead of approaching the factors that their original mistake has created, instead of approaching these factors objectively and realistically, the greatest sin that they're doing now is trying to pretend that they never committed a crime, that they never did any wrong. And when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad points out the injustices that our people are suffering, they make that sin worse by accusing him of teaching hate, or by accusing him of black supremacy, or by accusing him of advocating violence, simply because he is pointing out the real fact.